All right, pretty spreadsheets, huh? Hey, Luke, Eric, Will, the mix master. Let's see, who else? Who else is rolling in today? Look, the chat worked on the first try. That's fun. Paul, good to see you. And let's see, who else is here? Sean, good to see you. Quasor. All right. Oh, good crowd tonight. Welcome everybody. Thank you, Luke. So obviously there's something new in here over there, but we'll get to that. So yeah, gonna have some fun tonight. So thank you, Paul. Let's see, what do we got going on here? No, it's the same headphones. These are the Sony's 7506s with the DT200 with the Bear Dynamic DT250 pads, same glasses, same hair. Now I'm just still same old me, you know. So, and with the same congestion and cough, you know. What the heck? So anyway, real quick, let's get into stuff. Start with what's in the jam. Not much in the jam tonight, to be honest with you. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the DAW. And actually, let me make sure I'm lined up in the right spot to start with. There we go. So first up, just this late to the party. 7506s are great with everything, Paul. Didn't do any right hand stuff with this patch today or tonight. This is a nice patch. I like this. This was fun to make, and it's simple. A lot of time, you know, it's so many times simple is better. And this is one of them. So yeah, this patch has really only got what looks like 3 samples in it, and you know, a couple different timing things and some stuff. So not a whole lot going on in this one. So anyway, also in the jam from Multipoly, my Recitation 2 patch. And then, of course, obviously new to the party, big time, the the BARP 2600 Blue Marvin. And let's see, is it running? Yeah. And I'm set up so I can play this from either keyboard right now. I'm using the key step. Oh, let me turn that mic on. I'm using the key step here as a MIDI to CV converter, and that made it easy for me to use this and the arpeggiator and sequencer in the key step as part of the patch. So it's Blue Marvin. Blue Marvin. Gray's the meanie. There's some history on these synths, and we'll talk about that a little bit because it's really interesting. The history of these of the 2600 is pretty interesting, and it I don't even know all of it, but you know, it's fraught with controversy and some possible misconception. I'm not sure. But anyway, welcome to my first patch. And so tonight's obviously going to be largely about the 2600. But let's talk a few things real quick. I do like the sound of that. Okay, let's get back over here. Switch mics. Go back to the camera. So let's see. Not the Beatles. Yeah, Marvin. It's so yeah, Marvin. So this is. There's been in the real ARP 2600s. There have been, I think, about 6 or 7 versions. In the relatively short time that they were made. I would, you know, I don't know that I need the pain of an actual vintage 2600, to be honest with you. Between, you know, the cost of ownership or the cost of purchasing, which is, you know, if you've looked at the price on those things, and then the maintenance required to keep it going, I'm much happier with something that works out of the box, has MIDI built in, which I'm not actually using, and I may never use, but it's there if I want it. You know, yeah, it's, you know, it becomes a hole in the studio into which I would throw more money. And so, you know, this is I think this is a great alternative. I know some people, you know, smirk and turn up or turn up their noses, but you know, I'm not one of those guys, obviously. Yep, my synth world is a happy little cloud. Over happy little trees by a happy little creek. So anyway, real quick on the what do I want to say, history, I guess, of some of these 2600s. That is a picture of an original. Yeah, I am always ready to record. Obviously not just YouTube, but I record all my shows. I have actually documented the patch. You know, though I know that if I go back to recreate it, it will never be exactly the same. But so anyway, back to the pictures there. There is an original that's an original 2600, and the first of the 2600s were the blue Marvins, named for Marvin Cohen, who is the chief financial officer of. It'll be close enough, Mixmaster. Doesn't have to be perfect. Hey, Jeff, welcome. No, sorry, don't worry about it. So this anyway is an original 2600, and all handmade in the garage, basically all the original 2600s. Yeah, it's like it's something that you just I'm determined I'm just going to have to not worry about it being exact again. I'm not all that worried. You know, uh, sometimes you may get the exact patch back and it's not exactly as you remember. I've run into that with modern synths that actually have digital memory for what you've done. So sometimes our memories play tricks on us. About things. So anyway, original Blue Marvin. I can't remember how many were made. Not a lot. And this had a ladder filter that was basically a copy of Moog's ladder filter, which ended up getting them in hot water. And yeah, Polaroid memory. As I said, I'll draw up patch sheets. That'll work fine. And I thought about taking a picture of it, honestly, but if you look, I mean, if you start to try and take a picture in there with the overlapping of cables and stuff, it's really not going to be a very easy to deal with picture. Anyway, following up on the okay, cool. And following the blue Marvins were the gray meanies. This is a last of the generation of the gray meanies, which would have had the newer filter in it, and so that is also, this would be like a 7601, a 7600D or something along those lines. I can't remember all the exact numbers or when they were made or quantities made. There were not a lot of these first two iterations of 2600s made, and so I mean these guys are particularly rare. I think if I were to go for an original, it would probably be the last generation Gray Meanie 7600, because it's arguably the best built, has the newer filter, which I don't know how much difference. I can't hear a whole lot of difference between the two filters at this point, and we can look at that later on. We'll play with it because we'll tear this patch down and we'll build a new one tonight. And which is going to be a little awkward for camera angles, but we'll live. So anyway, this version's got the duophonics and yeah, 25 original generation Marvins, and then there was something like 200 of the various versions of these. So it was not a whole lot of these out there, and that's why they cost as much as they do. So I mean that's that. The Korg copies are also very pricey, and depending on whether you get the FS or the Mini or the M, they're both pricey. But the FSs are the full size model are considerably pricier. So these are since there's so few of them, these are obviously the lesser known of the 2600s. And the one we all know and love is this one, which has the same duophonic keyboard from the latter of the gray the last of the gray meanies, but has the the orange and black case. It's essentially the same synth, but these definitely have the new filter. The Gray Meanies, the first of the Gray Meanies, first couple 3 or 4 versions had the 4012 Moog style filter, and then the last version had the 4072 ARP original filter, as does this. This technically, even though these say, we say they're 2600s, it actually turns out they're not. Technically, this is a 2601, and I guess there are some other differences under the hood that make it significantly enough of a significant difference that they decided to come up with a new model number. So anyway, that's all the minutia that I have on this 2600 history. You know, they've been used on for decades on songs in every kind of music, or every kind of popular music anyway. From Edgar Winters used it. Stevie Wonder's used them. Michael Jackson used it. The list goes on and on. R2D2. This is the voice of R2D2, or a large component of it. There's some other bits and bobs in there as well, but this is mostly the voice of R2D2. Yeah, something like that, Will. But hey, David, but yeah, the 2601 was the last one. So anyway, that's funny. Yeah, so everything's got a final version of some sort, I guess. Oh, excuse me. So, let's see, what else? Did I have any more pictures? I don't know. I forgot what I did for tonight. It's been busy. Been busy. Let's see. That was it? Nope. No more pictures. Okay. Cool. Back to there. So let's see. There's been some news. I guess other things. Yeah, track names. I name my tracks. I mean, if we look here, I've got my tracks are all named. There's the wave state, the multi-poly lead, and the BARP 2600, the percussion. I give them names that actually sometimes mean something. Okay. Yes, fiction. Anyway, I didn't really have a whole heck of a lot of a plan. Let's see, but a couple of things have been bouncing around. Who is it that came out with that? Udo came out with that new Domino synth. That's been some conversation. I think that's the Domino or DMNO, and the discussion has been, why is it only 8 voices? And I seem to remember a conversation not terribly long ago in this very I was sitting in this very room, and we talked about, oftentimes, most of the time really, that 8 voices is plenty. And honestly, although I haven't turned it on in a while, the Polybrute's 6, and it's plenty. It's just a matter of, it becomes a matter of learning to work within the limitations. This thing is 1.5 voices, and it's plenty. does all kinds of cool things. I will say that the delay and reverb that on it are not the ones in the are not the reverb in the unit. Instant 70s, instant 80s, instant 90s, instant late. It's like, yeah. You know, this is, as I said, it's R2D2. It also played in Frankenstein. Edgar Winter Group Frankenstein. So it's like. FX from the box. Well, no, it's not from the box. It's from the effects that I used are for that are from the little TC Electronic Plethora X3. I've got my I've got I've got my Frippertronics patch loaded in there. I did not use the looper portion of it tonight, but I have got it's got delay and reverb, and the delay will do full 7 seconds, which is plenty. I don't think I have it cranked up that high, but anyway, so I watched some of the videos on the DMNO because that's what I do. I'm interested in things and what's new, and it's a neat synth. I don't think that I don't think that the I don't think, for me anyway, 8 voices would be a limitation. The way I've only got but so many active fingers, and the way I arrange stuff, I'd never really use more than 3 or 4 or 5 notes from a synth at a time, including tails. So I don't think that would be a problem. But I don't see a need for me to have that synth. What I did see flash past on my YouTube today, and I can't really find anything on it more besides the short video from Bristronica, or whatever the show that's going on over there is in Bristol right now, or happened the last couple of days, is the new what is that thing? Couldn't even find a picture of it to get a screen grab of it that I wanted to do. The what's that new thing you just got, Luke? Whatever that thing is. Anyway, they're coming out with a desktop module version of it. And Mask One, yeah. So they're coming out with the Mask One EX or something like that, which is a desktop. A little desktop unit, and so that was mildly interesting. There was another one from Modor that looked interesting, but they've got their KF1, and now they've got a bigger version with a keyboard and a smaller version. I think so. I think they've got 3 versions of that. So interesting stuff. You ordered a Mask EX1. Cool. I'll be interested to see how that interesting to see what you think of that, David. So anyway, that's all that's new. Oh, a couple things that did come to mind. Saturday, I think it's Saturday, whatever the Friday or Saturday, whatever the 3rd is of October. I've mentioned this before, I think, but that's the day that Dawson's new contrast, multi-dimensional, crazy wavetable software synth drops. And I understand there's going to be a good deal on an introductory order. And I'm not sponsored. I got no kickback, no nothing. So there's no links or anything, no affiliate links or anything like that. Just I think it's going to be a neat piece of software. If you're into the wavetable kind of stuff. I know I'll be grabbing a copy of it on my way out of town. And let's see, there was something else. Oh, also Friday is for those who partake is Bandcamp Friday. Um, so that's the news. That's all the news there is worth printing. Um, so that's that. Um, the parrot is unhappy again. She's not getting the attention she wants, or something. Well, the mask does tickle your. I thought I misread that, Paul. I thought you said it doesn't tickle your fancy. I think it looks interesting. You know, the mask was interesting. Oh well, yeah. I would say the Taylor Swift release party is the definitely the thing to do. If I could be there, I'd be there. You know, because I'm a Swiftie. All right, so let's see. We did what's in the jam. That was short because there wasn't much in it. Talked about the couple new things. Um, the studio is still a disaster because I haven't gotten around to cleaning everything up from various changes. Oh, that's the thing. I am going to rearrange the studio. I'm not going to wait until um, I'm not going to wait till we do after we do the Op 6 video with Reedvik when that comes up. It's going to be hopefully sometime in October. Don't know when yet. Um, and But hopefully we can. I've got to rearrange the studio. The corner that I'm looking into. Um, Let me do this. Um, that. Give the camera a few moments to spin around. So the corner that houses all of the video stuff and the monitor, DAW monitor, and all that is getting to be kind of a major mess. And so there's really, camera's in slow pan mode. So there's really getting to be the point that there's not room to work over here. Um, you got keyboard and the Stream Deck and the. Okay, you can stop now. Stop. Anyway, the switcher's down under here. There's now a 4x4 video matrix over here. There's a 2 disc recorders. The camera control unit's way back there. This corner is an ergonomic disaster. Um, yeah, spinning round and round. I know. Sorry. At least I didn't do. At least it's not doing it at high speed. So I got plenty of space, Jeff. The space is not the problem so much. Um, the problem is how the space is arranged, and I'm not even talking the little U-shaped cockpit that I'm in. That part's not even so bad. Just it's the way things are arranged or arranged around the room. So it's plus I haven't brought the mod wave in here. I've still got the mod wave sitting out in the living room, so it's got to go on the bottom of the wave state Op 6 stack. So what I think is going to happen is Polybrute and multi-poly will stay where they are roughly, and then I can get in and out, but it's working here is frustrating. So I think I mentioned that what I want to do is you know the space over there is going to be modular. Damn it. And then this space here in front of me, what's in front of me now, will be where the PyCorgs go. And the big monitor and all the control stuff will move into here somehow. Um, live in the front room. So that's the, that's the kind of pie. So that's kind of what I'm thinking I want to do. I may end up having, just because there's so much to do, I may end up having to take a week off from the live stream to do it. We'll see. Either that or we'll, do some sort of interim thing. But it's getting a little frustrating to work in here the way it's laid out right now. And I got some work to do. So, yeah, it's just, it takes, when I've had my studios in the past, it's always taken it's taken a long time really to find a way to get comfortable with the way you work. And then of course you add something. And as soon as you add something, then it all goes away, So, so Paul's got the front room while the meta rig gets all okay. I don't know. So Paul, if we start splitting into two rooms when we do the jams at your place, I'm not sure how that's going to work. Because it really helps when people can see each other. We're going to have to set up cameras so we can see each other between the rooms. So anyway, let's see. Paul wanted me to do the spinning again, so that's what we're going to do. I'll go back over to send the camera back over to the overhead camera back over to the desk, and we can talk about the oh, man with beard, welcome. We can talk about the 2600 a bit. It's really an interesting synthesizer, and I think the trip back to the desk is not as interesting as the trip from the desk to here. Oh well. Anyway, I'm going to spin around and face the 2600. So the mic switch. This one's a little hotter, isn't it? Anyway, oh yeah, it sure is. Okay. Anyway, so I don't have a lot of shots set up over here yet. Just this one down shot. But I'm going to do a quick tour of the 2600, and actually, I am going to see if I can zoom in a little bit. Use the old-fashioned remote to do it. Let's see. Oops, that was too far. I have to make sure I don't make the mistake of looking at the return monitor while I'm moving things around. All right. So one picture that I wanted to show and I couldn't get a good version of is what goes on inside one of the original 2600s. There's some pictures on the interwebs that they're not real clear what's actually going on. But really, a 2600 is a modular synth with some pre-wiring done inside. So unlike a lot, and a week or two, or 1 and 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, I talked about how I wanted my patch points to be on a semi-modular to be in the area of the thing that they're patching, and that was why I was really digging the grandmother or the matriarch, because that's how they're laid out. And so the 2600 is very much the same. We've got, as we go across the face, we've got 3 oscillators with all of their controls and outputs. We've got the filter and mixer section with all of its inputs and outputs right here. We've got the 2 envelopes. We've got the VCA mixer effects section. and then all the extra cool stuff down here. So, you know, like sample and hold and this electric switch gizmo. We've got some various utilities in here, noise generator, ring modulator. There's a couple more. There's an envelope follower and a preamp thing. You can bring in external devices through the preamp or crank up and drive, you know, an oscillator or whatever. You got the LFO and vibrato section here and all the keyboard interfacing here. So, I mean, it's each one of these is, and there are, like I said, there are some patchings done for you into each thing, but almost everything is patchable. There are a few things that you can't patch and modulate that I wish you could, but by and large, pretty much anything you'd want to do, you can. I do have space down here for a 84 HP Euro rack. I'm gonna order a happy ending after I get off of here tonight. I think is the plan. And get that in here, and then I'll start selecting a few additional things to go down there. But these, I mean, the oscillators are really cool. This can be configured. Any one of the oscillators can also be switched over to be a low frequency oscillator. And it's interesting, don't order. Okay. I won't. Anything missing? What's this? What are you, anything missing? Oh. Difference between the Blue Marvin and Gray Meanie and the orange and black from Behringer is that supposedly the blue and the gray have hand-picked components. I don't know what that means exactly. And these have a spring reverb. The blue and the gray have a spring reverb, and the black and orange have a digital reverb. And the digital reverb is the digital reverb tails are short and get kind of crunchy from the demos that I heard. The tails on the spring reverb are luscious. As far as the this shirt is backwards. No, I got my shirt on right. Welcome, by the way, Eddie. Good to see you. So there are things. There's nothing missing from the original on the Behringer synths. Everything is here mostly, or everything is here. They added some things beyond just MIDI to these. For instance, in the filter section, we have both circuits, and the 2600, the original 2600, and this have, and I'm going to put it in air quotes, have stereo outputs. If you look at a 2600, actually, let me spin around, switch mics, and go here and here. So if you look up in the upper right corner here of the Blue Meanie, or the Blue Marvin here, the original Blue Marvin, that slider at the top is the left-right pan control for output. And the reverb is it does some kind of it. There's something going on. At least in this one, it sounds stereo-ish. I don't think the one on the orange and black sounds as spacious, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So you can do stereo panning on this, and you can do some weird things in patching that will get you one thing on one output and something else on the other, because all that output section is patchable. I'm looking too. There is a difference in the arrangement of the jacks at the top of the mixer and the reverb on that. And I'd have to look more closely to see what's really going on in there. Anyway, so this does have a left-right out. There's pan here, and you can either get line level or Euro rack level outputs up here. You can patch around the reverb. You can the mixer section's a little odd. We'll kind of work through some of this as we start to do a patch. I want to do, if we get to it, because it's pretty we're running pretty long. Maybe I'll do a separate video that is just building a patch. So we can go through this. So let's see. One of the things that you can do, I'm going to work my way back around the synth again. The oscillators are nice oscillators. They sound good. Let's see if I can patch one straight to. I have a long enough. I ran out of patch cables. Here, this one's long enough because it's long enough to go to the next room. Not sure what this is going to do. Let's see. So we'll take this oscillator, which isn't doing a whole lot, patch that straight to the output. And so that's its, let's see, is that doing what I think it's doing? I'm not exactly sure what that should just be the triangle output of oscillator 2. Oh, but it's synced. Hold on, let's turn sync off. And let's see, and I'm modulating that with something else too. So yeah, I'm modulating it with VCO1. I got so much going on in this patch. Let's see. Turn that down, turn that down. There we go. There's a triangle. Yeah, so there's the triangle. Saw. Sine. And then square with, modulation, or pulse width modulation. And it goes all the way to 0. At least on the downside. Oh, I got that being modulated too. I'm modulating everything. That's the kind of guy I am. So anyway, the oscillators sound pretty decent. The filters nice. I like the old style 4012 better. I think, but it's another one of those kind of things. The deal with the filters on the 2600s, like as I said earlier, is that the original filter was a copy of the Moog ladder, and they got sued over it, and so they came up with their own design, and their goal was to sound the same. So Some people say you can hear a huge difference between the two filters. I can't. Um, but you know, they make nice sweepy noises. Let's see. That would be better if I could do just a saw, just like a sawtooth through that, wouldn't it? Let's see. So let's grab the saw out of, oh, I've got the saw out of oscillator 1. So if we kill these guys, kill that. Oh, let's see. Oh, we're going to, you know what? Let's pull the patch. What the heck? I can rebuild it. I can make it better than it was before. We'll take that out. We're going to leave that one in. Going to leave that in. We'll take that out. That can come out. Oh, let's see. What else come out? That is going to leave that one in. And I'll take this out, all of these guys out. And now it won't make a sound. So we need this guy back. And let's put that in there. Turn that down, turn everything down, or most everything down. Set that thusly. Okay, so we're going to use oscillator 2, bring that up. This is where I ran into problems the other day. Okay, there we go. What's causing us the little clickies? Stop that. We will take that out too. And we'll see, that's off, that's on single. Turn the ring modulator down, turn the noise generator down. Oh, what's causing the clicking? Something's going on there. Where is that coming from? Oh, sync. Still on, that's where it was. All right, so that's getting us a, I say that's a square wave from 2. So let's grab, get a sawtooth out of there. So that's the 4012, just its regular sweep. Let's go down an octave for 2. And then we can turn the resonance up. All the way up. Hold your ears. See you, Mixmaster. I haven't done a patch with it yet, but this thing will self-oscillate. So anyway, that was the 4012. Go through the 4072. And back to the 4012. So in that mode, I'm kind of hard pressed to hear a difference, you know? I think the resonance might be a little more aggressive on the 4072. But like I said, really hard pressed to hear a difference. You know, they sound really similar, which was the goal. So I've been using the 4012 just because, you know, I'm that way. Oh, so that was self-resonating. And I bet if I took that out and did that and that. Nope, that's not the way to do it. Obviously not tuned. So that's playing the filter, playing the 4012. Interesting, there's a pretty major pitch difference between the two. So anyway, it's playable if you want to do that. But you've got sine wave outputs available on VCOs 2 and 3. Let's see what else. Oscillators 2 and 3 will sync. So let's bring that back up, that down. And we're kind of in an odd space there. Let's do that so it works in a way that makes more sense. Little classic hard sync there. And you can do things too, like I can turn on, this should be interesting. Let's see if we can get oscillator 2 to sound like anything in sync mode if it's syncing to an LFO. You get that little weird clicky stuff going on. So anyway, what would be... Would this be 5U? No. So this is a rack mountable desktop module. Is really what to say. What you would say. As far as the space it takes up, this particular synth takes up in the rack it takes up 8U in the rack. So it would be similar form factor to Surge, to the old Surge modular, which would be which is 4U, I think. And I think original Buchla, I think, was 4U. I think. Don't quote me. Paul might be able to better answer that. A friend of ours, of mine and Paul's, has, you know, a whole rack of Surge and Buchla. I think that's all 4U. Yeah. So yeah, this whole rack here that you're seeing it's a 12U rack, and the way this one's built, there's actually the overall height is really 14U because this space up here at the top is about 1 RU, and then down at the bottom there's another RU. So that's that. Another thing that you can do with these, and it's pre-wired for it, sorta, is you can do FM So I've got oscillator 1 modulating oscillator 2. And if we wanted, we could then take that. Let's move this guy over here. And we'll have oscillator 2, the oscillator 2 sine wave F after. So the FM'd output of oscillator 2 will now be used to frequency modulate oscillator 3. And we got some weird kind of beating thing going on, but actually I don't need to have that plugged in. There we go. So you can get some really weird noises. Not sure how much that's actually. Oh, I know why. I know what's going on. That's just playing what it's got. I need to double up another CV into that keyboard CV into there. And if we put those in sync, it's not as much fun. Yeah, they are good. I think there's 60 millimeters, you know, and 100 millimeters is better, but you know they're a decent size. I was worried about that as well. I'm a knob guy, you know, and so I was a little worried about the length of the throws. But these are nice to work with. One thing that Jeff had commented on was the lights, and I've got the LEDs turned down, but they can get really awfully bright if you want them to. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's sort of showing up. I've got them turned almost all the way down, and but what I've found online is there are folks who are making available 3D print files, so that you can make covers for the LEDs. And let me do this. I'll show you what the objection to the LEDs is. Where did I put the picture of that? Oh, it's over here. So this is from one of the things. So if you look at there's obviously a collection of sliders there. The one that's down towards the left, that's the raw fader from one of these synths. And so basically it's a slider that's got a square LED mounted in the end of the stick. So, you know, right here. And that just kind of hangs out there. And so you get this big, hey, Music by Jethro, good to see you, welcome. So this just kind of hangs out there. And so some folks have, and there's a few of these out there, but are making 3D print files available for proper caps. And so these have a little piece of clear. There's a little clear part that you can print at the same time, where you can get a little piece of clear plastic rod to put in there to make the bright light go away. There's a couple other styles I've seen out on the internet, and so I've got friends with 3D printers. I'm getting some made. because I do like that. I think it's going to feel better. It's certainly going to look better. Um, you know, and I could, I guess, technically get them in, you know, different colors if I wanted to be able to quickly glance at have things color coded. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. So those are nice. The print file is free. This one's on printables.com. And there's a couple others floating around out there that I saw, but these are the nicest looking ones that I found. I will drop a link for those interested because I'm sure these will work on other instruments as well that have, or devices that have lighted faders that don't have caps on them. So I'll drop a link to that below, and yeah. So the file is free from what I can tell. So it's just a matter of getting somebody to print them for you. So let me put this back where it belongs. That over there. That over there. There we go. So yeah, so let's talk about the reverb because that is kind of where I was going next. I'm going out of order, but you know we played with the filter. The envelopes are real quick. The envelopes are interesting. Each one has the ADSR and the ARAS or AD envelope. Both have range switches, so to speak. So I've got them both on ×1, but you can make them snappier or slower just with a switch, which is kind of neat. So you know that's useful. But yeah, the let's get something that sounds sort of reasonably decent here. Let's see. Let's turn all this FM silliness, make all this FM silliness go away. Boom, boom. So when you don't have any output patches from the filter or from the oscillators into the filter, you get two square waves in a saw. So square, square, and saw here. And I've got them tuned an octave. Each is like an octave apart. One might be a fifth. So the reverb, and I am routed to go through the reverb. So let's see. So obviously no reverb. And is that a good enough level? Hey Thomas, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. So this has got the spring reverb, and I'll take it up by degrees. So it's obviously a spring. If you let me turn it up just a little bit. So you can hear the spring. It's a short spring, and so you can hear the springy going on. So that's at 25% ish. This would be halfway up. And it's a little noisy, but it's not a bad noise. It's got some great tails to it. And the tails on this are probably 4 times longer and better than the digital one they put in on the black and orange. But as we get turn it up, we hear more noise. There's absolutely zero noise from the digital reverb, but you can hear the noise creeping in. This reverb, yeah, it's a nice spring reverb, especially considering it's a short spring. I don't know how long it is, but it's not real long. They didn't call it Blue Meanie because there was never a Blue Meanie. The Gray Meanie is the gray one is the Meanie. So the blue, historically, the blue one was called the Blue Marvin because it was named after Marvin Cohen, who was the ARP CFO at the time when the 2600 first came out. So that's the reason for the name, the naming convention. I don't know where Meanie came from for the Grays. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the full reverb on this. And so when you crank the reverb, it starts to add some color, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Sorry, guys. It goes deep. So there's a little bit of a tone to the reverb, and like I said, it's not bad, but some things it doesn't mix so well with. I do think that, and that's part of why I'm following it up with the TC Plethora. The reverb in this is it's the Hall of Fame too. It's a digital, but it's pretty near divine. And of course, you put some delay with that, and oh, I've disconnected the the modulation from the. Let's get some filter mod going on here. We'll put that on keyboard CV. Turn it up. Jeff, you talking about the filter? Can I get it to feedback? I haven't tried that, but yeah, you should be able to. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's take the filter output, which will not delete its path elsewhere. We can grab that. Oh, let's see. Let's shove that in place of the rig modulator. Oh, that's not going to work because it's not. Maybe it will. Doesn't get too angry about it. Let's put it that way. Might be better to come out of someplace. Oh, you know what we could do? Take that, run that into the preamp to get a little more gain out of it, and then come out of the preamp back into the filter. There we go. Are you thinking? So for modulation, I'm using, let's see, there's an LFO in here, and there's 2 envelopes, and then to control the modulation, I'm sending CV from the mod wheel or mod stripe on my key step up into where it would ordinarily have keyboard control. The cables that are running from elsewhere are just coming up from the key step down here. They're kind of a little bit out of frame. So I've got these guys, just because I don't have enough proper mults going on. These guys are pitch CV. So this comes up and then loops up. That way I'm feeding pitch CV to all 3 oscillators. This cable here that's coming up to gate is the gate out of the key step. The orange one here is the modulation out of the key step. And then I also have, it's not hooked up, but I got clock, so I can clock the sample and hold from the earlier patch. So this is the Behringer 2600. The ARP would be about this wide. I don't have the image loaded in the switcher, but last week I showed an image that compared the size of the ARP panel to the size of the original panel. I mean the size of the Behringer panel to the size of the original panel. And this is considerably smaller. This is about 2/3 the size, height-wise, I guess, maybe 3/4. The width is considerably condensed. And one thing that we did miss talking about that is gone from this that was on the originals. The originals had a pair of speakers down in here. So that's gone. And so they've compressed everything width-wise to make it fit in a 19-inch rack. Which they made some great compromises. I'm actually really happy with what they built. The build quality feels mostly really good. I do wish the front panel were a little thicker, but you know, what the heck. Oh, that's cool, Crystal Visions. I've never touched an original ARP anything. I've played early Moogs, but I've not played any early ARP products. Excuse me. Boy, it's an unhappy sound. Oh, that's because I got that feedback going. So, Jeff, you wanted me to feed reverb back into the mixer somewhere. I think we can do that. Let's see. So if I take this guy says reverb out. Let's stick that into the other channel, the output mixer. Now, yeah, because that'll feed back into the reverb. That moved the reverb decidedly into our left ears. Interesting. There we go. I'd have to do some other patching to, and you should, if that's the case, let's see. That's reverb out. It's probably, you could probably take I could probably patch 2 or 3 loops through the reverb. If I really got into figuring, I haven't figured all of the patching out on this yet. There's some stuff, man. It gets crunchy. So, speaking of this being a drone beast, let's kill that, pull that out. So this thing will drone all by itself. Let's see if I remember how to do it. Well, so one thing I can do is in the mixer, I can take an output the way it's hard patched or soft patched anyway, or semi patched. Is there's 2 inputs to the mixer. One is comes from the VCA, the other comes from the VCF. So if I just turn that up, I've got a drone right there with no extra anything to do. Turn that down. So if we turn that up, then we can do things like modulate the, let's see, turn, let's waste, no, we'll do the LFO. Let's see, LFO, take a triangle wave out of the LFO. We can put that into there. Yes, there's no sequencer, and I'm okay with that. Again, this is like it's like the original. So the next thing I'm going to do with this, I'm going to take the reverb out, and I'm going to pop that into the filter. Actually, no, I'll have to run through that. Probably have to run through the preamp. So come out of the preamp into the filter. And let's see, that was not long enough. I need another 18-inch. I need more patch cables already. I will say I got patch cables with this, and of the 16 that came in I bought the bundle pack from Sweetwater. I did not like the rack that they offered the bundled, so I did. Yeah, that's another way to go. I can actually add noise right into the filter too, right here. So there's one thing here there's a couple things I wish we could modulate that we can't. I can't modulate the color of the noise generator. That would be nice. There's a couple other things you can't modulate that I wish you could, but by and large, there's not a whole lot you can't do with this that isn't a lot of fun. Okay, so now I got the reverb going back into the filter. So I've only got one filter to play with on this. See, that's not giving us as much go as I thought it might. Turn up the gain. There we go. All right, Luke, good seeing you. Thanks for dropping by. I will I certainly will. I will hold off. I got to go out and visit a customer tomorrow, but I will certainly drop you a note. I'll drop you a note before I leave in the morning, and we can chatter while I'm driving or something like that. Or, you know, while I'm watching things not happen, because I think there's going to be some of that tomorrow. Okay, now I want this dumped into echo and yeah, we're actually, you know what? I'm over time. Sorry, Jeff, I am terribly sorry. I'm over time. So we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it here, and I want you all to jump over. The link is down below for Jeff's channel. Head on over and see Jeff, and he's going to be doing modular stuff for an hour or so, I'm guessing. Thanks everybody for coming, and we'll play some more with this later. It is very easy to get lost in patching. Oh, thanks Jethro, appreciate it, and thanks everyone for coming, appreciate it as always, and we will catch you all. Oh, next week. Unfortunately, like I said, I'll be unable to be in the studio next weekend. So we may not get as much with this next week. We will be talking about contrast from Dawson next week for sure, and a couple other things that I haven't had a chance to play with yet. So anyway, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks everyone for coming. We will see you next time.